Hey there everyone, for this video I'm going to do what I've done in a couple other ones, but I just figured since I'm going ahead and doing this for a project, might as well make another video. But what we have is crime data, two different data sets, and we want to attach a census tract ID to each one. We're looking at this in Chattanooga. I'm going to make a sub-series or a playlist on YouTube for Chattanooga, given some of the research projects, research papers, and an ongoing project there with a colleague at UTC. So with that, today's video is going to be attaching our unique identifier, our FIPS code at the tract level to individual points. With that, we have two spreadsheets. This data comes from what's available on Chattanooga's open data portal. So first we have to display the XY. We have latitude and longitude within each data set. And from there, we're going to attach our unique identifier to each one. So if I open up this file that has our crime data in it, you can see we have latitude and longitude, which will map for us. And then if I open up our tracts, which are already clipped to the city, I did that ahead of time because if I just had tracts across the state, there's a good chance some of these crimes in terms of latitude and longitude are going to be outside of the city boundaries for Chattanooga. It's not uncommon for police to respond to calls outside of their jurisdiction, or you could also have just a bad match address that's going to kick it outside. So this is another way to just exclude those from analysis into the future. But when I say a unique identifier, we have GEOIDs. So we have a 2-digit state, 3 for the county, and then we have a 6-digit one for our tract part itself. So you combine all those into 11 digits, which is a unique identifier for each specific neighborhood or tract here. If you think or remember back, block group is 12, so we would just add 1 at the end to get block group level. But since we're dealing with tract, we have 11 characters. And this is each a unique ID for a specific tract. If you keep in mind, every state has an individual number, so I did a lot in Arkansas in terms of videos, so Arkansas is 05. Then you have a county that's 3-digit, and then followed by a tract one that's 6. Combine all those, you have a GEOID that you can use to combine in other data. Think about it from the ACS or census. That's mostly what people do and use this for. But with that, let's get going. I'll close out of these. Again, I need to do this twice, so I have 2 different sheets, and I just truly have it separated by 1 and 2. So I'm going to right-click, display XY data. And being that ArcGIS Pro is pretty good, it'll pick up longitude and latitude for us. It recognizes the coordinate system. I'm going to go ahead and just resave this in a specific folder versus the Geo database. And this is a project we're working on with actually 2 colleagues at UTC. So race 1, XY displayed. So I can hit OK here, and that's going to go ahead and display those for us. I can see my other contents. I have a lot of gun crime in here. That's the project that we have going on. It's a gun crime intelligence center, so we do a lot with the crime guns in Chattanooga. As you can see, all of these individual blue points represent crimes in Chattanooga. Like I said, we'll have some outside, so that's why I went ahead and clipped the tracks ahead of time. I'm going to go ahead and do this for the second one since I'm already down in this area. So again, I just clicked on my other table file, so I pulled this in from Excel, added that sheet, display XY data, picks it up again. We're good there. And for Ironman, I'm just going to click on this and then change this to a 2. So it's the second race. Display XY data, hit OK. And we are good to go once those generate. Sweet. So a couple couldn't go. My guess is it probably does not have true latitude and longitude. It wasn't provided within it. Not uncommon when it's city data portal downloaded data. With that, we have 2 data sets now that we want to attach our identifiers from the tract level to the individual points. So to do that, since I want to join information to my point level, so I'm taking Polygon data and unique identifiers and attaching that onto each point. So I'm going to right click on my race, the points for level 1. I'm going to come down to joins and we're going to have a spatial join. For this one, we just specify what that's going to look like. So we have our feature, so we're joining data to this from our tract file, which is clipped. We want it 1 to 1. And for this, since we have points we want to say are completely within, so our points, our crimes are completely within a tract, we'll attach that identifier for us. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and clean up what's going to be attached in the attribute table. For the most part, it's going to bring everything over from both files. There's a few that I don't care about coming in from the tract level file, so I'm going to take it all the way down until it just leaves us our state code, so our 2-digit, 3-digit for the county, 6-digit for the tract, and our GeoID overall. So I'm going to leave those, and we're good to go there. Let that spatial join occur. And then if I go ahead and open this attribute table, and I scroll all the way to the right, you'll see now that our crime data has our state, county, tract, FIPS all combined into a GeoID, so now we can merge in or join in our ACS social data itself. So I'm going to repeat this process now for our second one. So I'm going to right click on the race 2, come down to joins and relates, do a spatial join again, points to Polygon, so I want to attach our census tract information to each individual point. I did not do this on the last one, I should have, in terms of where I saved it. So I'm just going to specify race 2 GeoID joined. Join 1 to 1. Again, this one's going to be completely within. And for the fields, I'm going to come in here and delete the ones at the end again. So I'm just left with my unique identifier information. Hit OK. Let that run, and I'll go ahead, since I did not save the first one where I wanted to, our race 1. Keep in mind, if you ever make this mistake, and I like to have better file management, I wasn't thinking when I did that. So I right click, I can still do a data export for this. If you're familiar with the data catalog, you could move it as well. But I'm just going to export this and rename it. So I don't want to save it to my geo database for Chattanooga. It's really my kind of, I could have stayed in Ironman. It's my broader, there we go, Ironman folder, and then race 1 GeoID join. My geo database is primarily related to a lot of the gun crime shooting data that I've been messing with for the city. Hit OK. So now I have 2 shapefiles that can be opened. If you're familiar with ArcGIS, it creates a DBF attached to each file. So I'll go ahead, and since I thought of it, I'll walk through how to open this in Excel. So now that we have these attribute tables made, so race 1, race 2, GeoID of both are joined, you can actually open the DBF, the attribute table that's connected to our shapefile in Excel, and then save it as a workbook. You can also export it as a table and do the same stuff. I just kind of do what I've been used to over the years of I always just told Excel to look for a DBF, open that, and then just resaved it as an Excel workbook. And then I can send this back to colleagues to do some other analyses with it. All right. Excel's opening quicker than I thought, so that's always a positive sign. But for now, I want to open, and I'm just going to direct it to my subfolder within Chattanooga for the Ironman race. Ooh, there we are, desktop, Chattanooga, Ironman. You can see here it'll bring up the files, but make sure you go ahead and change this to a DBase file, your DBF. And I want to pull in race 1, go ahead and hit open. You can do it for both if you want to. I'm just holding down control and I click the second one, hit open, and it'll open both files in Excel. So now I can just resave as an Excel workbook, send this back to my colleagues, and we're good to go from there. So you can see I'm just clicking on the left hand corner. If I double click between one, it's going to auto fit all the contents to the largest cell itself. So you can see, we scroll across, we have our GeoID information. If it does not have a tract ID present, it was likely outside of the boundaries of the city, so it's an easy way to identify which ones are outside of the city boundaries pretty quickly. With that, if there's any questions, feel free to reach out. Until next time, see ya.